to that breaking news on Capitol Hill as longtime Maryland Congressman Elijah Cummings dies at the age of 68. Cummings is the head of the House Oversight Committee. He was a key investigator into President Trump's actions as part of this ongoing impeachment inquiry. According to a statement from his office, Cummings died from complications of long-time health challenges. Let's go live now to Washington, D.C., where I'm joined by Halie Soifer. She is the executive director of the Jewish Democratic Council of America. Halie, give me your reaction this morning to this sudden and shocking death of longtime Congressman, respected Congressman Elijah Cummings.
Yes, thank you so much. We deeply mourn the loss of Congressman Cummings. He leaves a remarkable legacy of leadership and high moral and ethical standards. He had a great partnership with the Jewish community in Maryland, and he will be deeply missed in Congress and by a grateful nation. We are extremely grateful for his leadership.
I want to ask Halie, he was the head of the powerful House Oversight Committee. He was a longtime critic of President Trump, investigated President Trump. This certainly might have implications for the impeachment inquiry, how things proceed from here. How could this impact this ongoing impeachment investigation?
Well, while we deeply mourn this devastating loss of Congressman Cummings, I have no doubt that the impeachment inquiry will continue. It is well underway in Congress under the leadership of the Democrats in the House, including Speaker Pelosi and Chairman Schiff, Chairman Nadler, and others. And it will continue. It will not change course.
I want to ask then, Halie, just a general question about the race. As we heard this week during the debate, several candidates really have bold ideas, progressive ideas regarding taxes, health care, education. Are you concerned that all of that, all of these platforms and visions, it will be lost if there's an impeachment vote, that the Democratic ideas will be swallowed up by impeachment?
Well, at this stage, we as Americans really have no choice. This is not a political calculation in terms of moving forward with impeachment. This is about our future as a democracy. The president asked a foreign country to intervene in an election and give him dirt. And we saw the transcript the White House released, asking for a favor explicitly from a foreign country. We saw this previously in 2016 when a foreign government, when Russia intervened in our election, and we won't allow this to happen. Okay. We have checks and balances in this country, and Congress needs to conduct oversight of the president, and will continue with this impeachment inquiry.
I want to turn to foreign policy here and some big issues that were brought up during that debate. Elizabeth Warren, who is leading in some polls, says she wants to bring all of the troops home from the Middle East. Joe Biden responding to that. Let's listen to the sound bites.
I don't think we should have troops in the Middle East, but we have to do it the right way, the smart way. What this president has done is that he has sucked up to dictators. He has made impulsive decisions that often his own team doesn't understand.
I quite frankly was surprised. I have never heard anyone say with any serious background in foreign policy that we pull all troops out of the Middle East. I think it would be an absolute disaster for American security and American foreign policy.
Halie, Joe Biden says that Elizabeth Warren's plan, her idea to bring all the troops home from the Middle East would be a security disaster. Do you think that erasing the U.S. troop presence in this region, would it endanger Israel?
I think what the president has already done has been a danger not only to Israel, but to our allies around the world and to our national security by recklessly deciding to withdraw what was a relatively small group of U.S. military forces in Syria. The president not only has abandoned our Kurdish allies who were making progress in the past 5 years against ISIS, and he has now reversed that, but also sent a message that our credibility as an ally and as a partner cannot be trusted.
Okay, I'm asking about your opinion as the executive director of the Jewish Democratic Council. Elizabeth Warren says she believes that all U.S. troops should be taken out of the Middle East. Do you agree with that? Do you think that her plan, her idea, would endanger Israel.
Well, I think that the U.S. military has an important role to play internationally, and especially in the Middle East, where it represents our leadership. And this has to be viewed case by case. But as it relates to the relatively small footprint in Syria, this precipitous withdrawal of what was a very small group of U.S. military troops has opened a Pandora's box in terms of the disaster here. We not only have given way to a humanitarian disaster and the Turkish military coming in and killing Kurds, but also, symbolically, this is a loss of leadership. And we have seen the Russian-supported Syrian troops come back in, literally passing the U.S. military on the highway in Kobani. We have seen an emboldening of Russia and now of Iran as well. Iran wants nothing more than to have an even stronger foothold in this corridor between Tehran and the Mediterranean. And of course, this is a threat to Israel. So the president's decision to withdraw these troops was both literally and figuratively a very dangerous one and symbolically devastating and cannot be reversed.
Haley, the president notes that Congress never even voted to send the troops to Syria in the first place, and he is fulfilling a campaign pledge. He said, "I will bring troops home from Syria." That's something voters responded to. He noted this was not approved by Congress, so he's fulfilling this campaign promise.
He also has an oath of office as the commander-in-chief to protect and defend the United States and the Constitution. And, we have seen him waver on every aspect of that oath. He, as commander-in-chief, has the ability to make the decision without a vote of Congress on where troops are sent, in this case, this small contingent that was in Syria. And it is his role to consider our national security interests. And this decision, which was reckless, has had a devastating impact on our national security and that of our allies, and it was a mistake. And members of his own party have said that and condemned it. And we saw an overwhelming vote in the House of Representatives, including that was supported by over 100 Republicans, that said just that his decision to capitulate to Turkish demands to withdraw U.S. troops from Syria was a mistake with devastating consequences.
All right, Halie Soifer, thank you so much for being with us, Executive Director of the Jewish Democratic Council, back here in studio as we await this Brexit press conference to begin.